Meditation reduces stress and lowers cortisol. Now, many self-improvement gurus are now offering this advice, and while it's good advice on the surface, and many men are now meditating, there's no real explanation of what meditation actually is, nor how to go about practicing meditation in its true form. This video will give you the insight you need to get started and to begin practicing properly. Now, many perceive meditation to be sitting in a cross-legged position and blocking out all thoughts and the suppression of internal dialogue. There's a tiny little bit of truth to this, but it's not as simple as that. Now, it's believed or promoted that meditating for just 10 minutes a day will reduce stress and lower cortisol levels. You know, it could when you practice properly, but in reality, for most people, it won't, and it will make not much difference at all. Now, why is that? Well, because most people fail to understand the true purpose of meditation. Modern meditation is mostly not meditation in its true form. Now, allow me to elaborate here a little. When I was younger, my first teacher used to have me sit in practice in a grassy area. We used to go hiking into the countryside and we would meditate. Now, he would sometimes approach me and hit me with a bamboo cane, and I'd be like that. I'd jump, not expecting it. He would say that if I can sneak up on you and hit you without you knowing that I'm there, then this is not true practice. You are not practicing properly. So I bore this in mind. So after a while, I would then look in his direction when I noticed that he was approaching, to kind of let him know, I can see you. And then he would come up to me again and whoosh with the stick, because I was still missing the point. And I'll get to that real soon. Pain is a great learning mechanism, by the way. It makes things easier to remember. Now, most people at this point would then get up, walk away and go and find a nicer teacher who is all warm and fluffy like cotton wool. You poor thing. But this is teaching in its true form, and this is why a lot of modern meditation groups and classes are not practicing in the true form. So what is true practice? Firstly, it's a connection with the true self within. That energy that resides within all humans. This is realization of the self. To practice in true form, you must awaken to the presence of this energy. Otherwise, all the time that you spend in meditation is wasted time and it's serving you no real purpose at all. Next is being in a state of equipoise. Now, equipoise is you are completely relaxed in body, but at the same time, you're totally and completely alert and present in mind. Now, think of this like a reclining cat who seems to be sleeping, completely still and at rest, but when it sees the mouse, bam, it pounces literally within a fraction of a second and catches it, because it was in a state of equipoise. Now, also, meditation is the transcendence of the personal ego. If ego is present during meditation, then the true self is hidden from your view. How many times have you seen an egotistical self-improvement guy banging on about the importance of meditation while at the same time displaying egotistical tendencies? They're completely missing the point and wasting their time and yours as well. There's also grabbing and aversion to consider. Now, this normal waking state must also be transcended during practice. I'll get to that in a minute. Now, when you sit in meditation as a beginner, you will discover right away that to simply sit in inner silence with no thoughts is not easy. Sounds really simple, just sit and think of nothing. This is a fundamental error that many beginners are making. Thoughts will arrive. The internal dialogue will be alive within you. This is only natural. Many believe that meditation is the switching off of internal dialogue. This is a mistake and it's not true. If you're making a life plan or planning your day, this requires internal dialogue. You're doing a task. This also requires internal dialogue. I'm using internal dialogue right now to present this video. Otherwise I would just be sat there like this for 10 minutes demonstrating, that this is how you meditate. Now, this is where the transcendence of grabbing and aversion comes in, because those thoughts will come, even for those who practice meditation for a long time, and I've been practicing now for, 31, 32 years, those thoughts still come while you are in practice. It's all about reaction. Now, back to my teacher hitting me when I let him know that I was aware of his approach. He chastised me because I was reacting to external stimuli. I sensed him coming. I then grabbed a hold of that thought and then reacted to that thought by looking round and to let him know that I'm not there. Don't hit me with the stick. And at that point in time, I'd lost awareness of the true self, the energy within, and I had entertained the thought of being struck with a cane. So what was I doing wrong? Sounds a bit confusing, and at the time I was confused at first. But then I asked and he explained it to me. Not being aware of his approach meant that I was in a trance and I was not aware. This is not true practice. Being struck, and then jumping, because you weren't expecting that whip on the top of the arm from a cane, jumping in surprise is a mechanical reaction to external stimuli, a loss of control and presence, inner control and presence. Now, in that moment, I was being ruled and dominated by external stimuli. Being aware of the approach and then looking round to anticipate the blow was the same. It's a mechanical reaction to external stimuli. Now, the secret is to be in that state of equipoise. You're relaxed, yet at the same time alert. To be aware of the presence of the teacher approaching, but yet still fail to react. To anticipate the blow of the cane arriving, but yet still fail to react. And finally, to receive the blow from the cane and still fail to react. Not making sense yet, but it's so simple. You fail to react. So when those thoughts arrive, which will happen, you do not grab a hold of those thoughts or react to those thoughts in any way. You just let them float by, one after the other, in a never-ending stream. As soon as you grab hold and attach to one of those thoughts, it then inevitably leads to further thoughts, and then before you know it, a thought chain has been initiated within your mind and you've lost presence. When this happens, recollect yourself, hit the stop button. Just focus on the next breath. That one inhalation. Just that one inhalation. An inhalation lasts a few seconds and it's easy to hold your attention and presence for just a few seconds, no? Then pause at the top of the breath. And just focus on the retention of air. Nothing more, just the retention of air. Another period of just a few seconds. Then gently exhale. Again, focusing on nothing but that exhale. Now, when a thought arrives, let it gently float by. Do not react to that thought. Let go of it. Let it float by. Every time you catch yourself grabbing hold of a thought, then what happens next is the initialization of that thought chain. Just stop yourself when this happens. Hit the reset button. Focus on the next breath. Start another inhalation. Start again. Just listen. External sounds and internal thoughts alike. Just listen and observe. And most importantly, do not react, just let go. Meditation is the art of self-observation and internally letting go. Keep practicing and you will inevitably improve. It's the process of letting go mentally that reduces stress and improves mental state. And when your meditation practice ends, take that state of non-reaction throughout your day with you. You know, now what do I mean by this? Another thing sounds really simple. Well, it's useless to meditate and then immediately revert back to the state of mechanical reaction when your session ends. Makes the session and the time spent on that session completely pointless and a waste of time. You relax the mind for 10 minutes a day, and then you're now reacting to everything again throughout the rest of your day. You are still becoming emotional and stressed to varying degrees depending on the external stimuli. Now, an explanation here is in order. Now imagine, today you are going to resolve to not reacting and carrying that through your day. After hearing me explain this, you let go of the thoughts and observe them floating by during your practice. You feel calmer by the end of the session. And then you think to yourself, I'm going to carry this calm, non-reactionary state with me for the rest of the day. So now you then go on to, you get ready and then leave the house to go to work. You know, no sooner than you stepped outside the front door, you notice that arsehole next door has boxed your car in again. And you have a hard time manoeuvring your car out. It takes some effort while you were doing this, and you are inwardly cursing that arsehole who blocked you in. You know, you've lost your non-reactionary calmness in the process already. You know, now, as it typically happens, you're now still inwardly fuming while reminding yourself you're going to have words with that jerk later on when you get back. And you're now on the highway driving your car. You're going down the highway and some idiot goes to change lane and nearly sideswipes you in the process because they're not paying attention. You immediately blow your horn and shout an obscenity at them. You know, meh, the fuck you doing, you arsehole? You know, because they nearly wrecked your car. By this time, your heart is at more than 140 beats per minute because for an instant you thought you were going to crash your car. You know, you pull over to recover, taking a few deep breaths. You know, then you arrive at work, and that arsehole of a manager that you never really liked looks at you in disapproval of you as you walk into the workplace. You know, looks at their watch and then says you're 2 minutes late. This is unacceptable. If you cannot improve your timekeeping, I'm going to have to dock your pay. You're thinking to yourself, what the fuck? You know, and then you're continuing to fume inwardly as you then begin to start your work. The level of stress, as all these events have been happening, has been slowly building up within you. You know, after a couple of hours of fuming inwardly, you then, you know, you forget, you realise that you completely forgot to remain calm and to, you know, it's like, oh fuck, I was supposed to be remaining calm and non-reactionary today, and I fucking reacted to fucking everything since I stepped outside the front door. That inner calm and reduced stress actually lasted less than 20 minutes after your meditation practice finished because you reacted to that arsehole blocking in your car, and your cortisol level spiked and remained elevated while you were on the highway. It got spiked even more during the near-miss incident, and it went into fucking overdrive when that arsehole of a manager broke your balls for being just 2 minutes late for work, and it's taken you more than 2 hours to realise that your resolve got broken quickly and you failed to even notice that this happened because you reacted mechanically. Now you can see why, I hope. Just sitting cross-legged and trying to switch off all thoughts for 10 minutes a day, as prescribed by the self-improvement niche, will not reduce stress or lower cortisol one little bit. It's a complete fucking waste of time. Now develop this habit of non-reaction. This reduces stress and lowers cortisol. Non-reaction reduces stress and lowers cortisol. Meditation will help you with this. Help you to become familiar what this state actually is and what it is not, because this is typically what tends to happen when you begin meditation. You forget. Somebody pisses you off, you fucking react to it. You know, it's a mechanical reaction. You've been doing this all your life. It's a case of realising each time that this happens, each and every time, realise when this is happening. Take a reset, hit the stop button, you know, the pause button, reset and start again when you realize that you've done this. The more times that you notice this, and remember to remind yourself to notice, and to remind yourself of the fact that you're supposed to be resolving, to be non-reactionary, of course, the better you will become at this over time. Taking that state with you from your meditation and carrying it with you on your day will help you to become more calm and centered. This will reduce your stress and help you to prevent prolonged cortisol spikes that remain prolonged for long-term periods of time. And this is what is really meant by reducing stress and improving mental state. And failure to do this effectively will reduce your testosterone levels. It's not just as easy as sitting in a cross-legged position and for 10 minutes a day with a quiet mind. You know, this has to become something that is all day, every day, and is happening on autopilot because you've trained yourself to do this. On the subject of this, you thought I was giving you helpful information when all along I was marketing to you. Am I a fucking arsehole or what? This book, The Practice of Correct Breathing for Physical and Mental Wellness and Spiritual Development. You know, guide to correct breathing practices, no mouth tape required, and the use of the breath for improving mental state. This book is very helpful in what I've been discussing today in this video. Yes, I was marketing to you the whole time. Sly fuck. Subscribe to this channel and follow this series for more.